Good afternoon, I want to welcome everybody to the regular meeting, of October 23rd, County Commission meeting. I'm going to ask Commissioner Martin to open us with a word of prayer and pledge.
Let's dive in. Gracious Heavenly Father, once again, we come before you with thanksgiving in our heart, thanking you, Heavenly Father, for this day and the beautiful weather. Oh, Heavenly Father, we ask that you bless each and every one that's here. And oh, Heavenly Father, help us to make the right decisions for this county. In your name, amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call, all commissioners are present. I'll take a motion for adoption of the agenda. I think there's going to be an amendment to it. Mr. Kaufman, if you would.
Yes, sir, we'd like to add one thing. It's in relation to submitting the application to the city for changing the zoning of the blue building. So it might go something about discussion and possible approval to submit the application for change of zoning to the city for the blue building.
All right, we have that. Adjustment to the agenda.
Motion to adopt, Mr. Chair.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda as amended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Passed 5-0. All right, I'll entertain a motion for approval of minutes from the regular meeting held October 9th, 2019, as well as the minutes from the special meeting held October 16th, 2019.
So moved, Mr.
So
Chairman.
I have a motion and a second.
That's for October 9th, 2016.
Yes. All right. Any discussion? Any changes? All those in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Passed 5-0. All right. Constitutional officers? Any Sheriff?
Nothing from the sheriff.
Okay. I think you're the only one I see back there. We have, the petition from the public.
There are none.
Okay. All right, and we're gonna move on down to new business. We're gonna go to move number 2, the proclamation commending and recognizing Annie Dyke, Joseph Knight, and Carl Joseph for their action taken during saving students' life at Madison County Central School. And, yes, recognize Lisa and Michael to come forward.
Okay, we would like to recognize these people tonight because on October 1st, we received a 911 call that a 15-year-old class or student at the Central School was not breathing. We just want to recognize them because the first responders are very helpful for us for being on the first on scene. They were there within like a minute and a half of this child going down and stopping the breathing. Mr. Carl Joseph also was he recognized the student's distress and had them respond over the radio. Like I said, they were there in a minute and a half, started CPR, and took an AED. They both knew how to use it. They shocked the student, got a pulse back. Mr. Raines was on scene within probably 3 minutes of the stop. And he said when he got there, the student was acting breathing. So we would really like to recognize them for the job they did, with the assistance they have with the student. This is a very unusual outcome. It was very good, a very good outcome. The student had no deficits, no issues after all of this. He was flown to Shands, where he received care there. It wasn't long before he was off the ventilator, in ICU, then a regular room, and then he was home, I think, less than a week later, Joey? Yeah. He was home. And we all got to meet with him, and he's doing very well. So we would like to recognize them, and I think we have a proclamation.
We do, and I'm gonna ask the clerk to read it for us.
Okay, that's the proclamation of the Board of County Commissioners of Madison County, Florida, recognizing and commending Annie Dyke, Joseph Knight, and Carl Joseph for heroic action taken to save a student at Madison County Central School. Whereas pursuant to the Constitution and laws of the United States of America and the state of Florida, the County of Madison has been formed as a political subdivision of the state of Florida with all the rights, duties, and privileges thereunto appertaining. And whereas pursuant to such authority, the citizenship of the County of Madison has elected a Board of County Commissioners and charged such board with the duty and privilege of governing the County of Madison. And whereas one of the privileges given to the Board of County Commissioners of Madison County is the ability to recognize certain citizens, families, groups, and organizations of the County of Madison who have demonstrated merit, love, and great commitment to the County of Madison through service to its citizens. And whereas it has come to the attention of the Board of County Commissioners of Madison County that Annie Dyke, Joseph Knight, and Carl Joseph performed heroic actions to save the life of a student at Madison County Central School. And whereas Carl Joseph's sharp attention to a student's apparent distress caused him to make the rapid and urgent call for emergency medical assistance. And whereas the prompt response to the scene from School Resource Officer Joseph Knight and his 15-plus years of medical training and knowledge of CPR and the use of an AED initiated crucial, immediate, life-saving methods. And whereas Annie Dyke's skills as a nurse and quick thinking to bring the AED, combined with the knowledge of the application and use, further provided life-saving techniques. And whereas the immediate response and combined efforts of these three professional individuals were instrumental in saving the student's life. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners wish to honor these individuals for their prompt actions and skilled professionalism in the resuscitation of the student at Madison County Central School. Whereas the Board of County Commissioners hopes that this event highlights the importance of knowing cardiopulmonary resuscitation and hopes that all citizens take the time to learn this proven life-saving technique. Now therefore be it resolved by the members of the Board of County Commissioners of Madison County, Florida, that we do unanimously adopt this proclamation to recognize Annie Dyke, Joseph Knight, and Carl Joseph. It further resolved that the clerk is hereby authorized and directed to record this proclamation in the public records of Madison County, Florida, so that a permanent testament of the above official actions will be created. It's duly passed and adopted by unanimous vote by the Board of County Commissioners of Madison County, Florida, in regular session this 23rd day of October, 2019.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion to approve and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Pass 5-0. And I want to personally thank each and every one of you for all the heroic action you did. Commissioners will come with me. We're going to get a photograph.
I also wanted to add too, if we bring our camera, we do have crew here that was there also. We'll be able to, like, take a picture.
So I never come down to one.
We've got a new wall.
Oh. Yeah, we don't go. Hey, Ken, thank you. Glad you came back for you.
Together somewhere.
What you got? What you brought? Hey, hold on.
Davis, same thing. Okay, there we go. My stuff. Three. 1, 2, 3. And a couple more. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
All right. Thank you very much. We're running off too late. Right. Thank you for everything you did.
Give him his jacket.
You going to field?
Give him his jacket.
See you in the morning.
Mr. Chairman, while we're getting back to our seats, we were at the task force meeting here today. How many people do you think were in that room? 100?
Oh, and the room, easily,
And when they asked in that room today, they said, how many people are able to provide CPR training or through CPR if we have an emergency? They were just going through some housekeeping and said, if we have an emergency, how many people can help with CPR? And there were 3 people.
3 people.
Out of that big room.
a room of 100 and, probably 110 people were in the room down across the river today that Brian and I just came from. We just got home, an hour ago?
Yeah.
And, there were 3 people in that room that do CPR.
And so part of what we wanted to do is to highlight the importance of this event, but also to raise awareness that anybody can learn CPR.
Absolutely.
And save the lives of their loved ones.
That's right.
So Michael and Lisa are gonna be working at the schools, and trying to promote more CPR training at the schools, but also we wanna do it for the community, for churches. Any groups that are interested, we want them to contact our EMS department so we can provide free training to them.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, yes,
I just wanted to mention for the sake of the audience, the clerk is gonna have the resolution framed and it'll be displayed out at the central school for.
Right. That's a very good idea. Thank you, Commissioner.
Well, I was just passing on,
I
I know
know.
we took it back and give it to Sheriff. Why we took it back?
We're not taking it, we're not hitting you. We're taking it back for a reason. Okay, we're gonna move on down to number 3, request from the Madison County Hospital, Memorial Hospital for the county to guarantee the salary of the new, surgeon, Ms. Tammy Stevens, if you'll come forward.
Thank you again. Feel like I was just here, and here I am again to meet with you all. Thanks for allowing us to be on the agenda. So on April 6th, you received a written request from the hospital for consideration for a first-year guaranteed income loan for Dr. Padiger, who is our general surgeon. And then on August 9th, we were before you to present our county budget presentation, and we mentioned it again at that meeting. So today, I'm not sure if you're aware, if you've read your email, I sent you an email today just so you would have a copy of the letter again to prepare for tonight's meeting in case you had questions and so forth. So today, having said that, I wanted to make sure that you all were aware, and I know I mentioned it too at our budget request meeting, that the hospital was approved for a USDA grant for operating room equipment only. And we've asked the USDA for a second grant request for operating room equipment only, and we've been slowly ordering equipment as we speak. We've also submitted a written request, legislative request, by the way, for equipment funding. So we are trying to prepare ourselves for receiving grant funding for the purposes of ordering equipment for the operating room. So we would appreciate consideration of the first year guaranteed income loan for Dr. Padiger, our general surgeon, who has joined our hospital team. And we are available here today to answer any questions you may have. And on behalf of Ring Publishing Inc., I brought the magazines, if you want to pass them around. I think I have enough for you all.
If not, I've got more.
Yeah, we have plenty, So we're proud to have Dr. Padiger on the cover page of the magazine, and there's an article, of course, his bio and the things that's gonna be happening at our hospital.
All right, I will open it up for any discussion, and, from commissioners, anyone else? Leo, start.
I was gonna give you a little background. At your space when you got here, I'd already placed 2 things for all of you. One was the letter that Ms. Stevens had sent on the 6th of April that she resent today. I printed out a copy for you there, so you can see what they're asking. And then the other is the prior contract where the county in 2014 did something very similar to this, or actually the exact same as this, with Dr. Payne. And I was gonna let you know that I've looked at it, and when we did this for Dr. Payne, the request was for $204,000 loan guarantee. Of that $204,000, we loaned the hospital $85,000, and that has been paid back. I think 2016 is when it finished getting paid back. I mean, but it has all been paid back 100%. But instead of the 204, it was really 85. That's what we ended up loaning that over the course of that agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Clark.
No problem.
Appreciate that. Any further discussion?
So in other words, we use the same stipulations in this prior agreement, except for the figures?
That would be what I would think you would do, yes, sir.
Yes.
Well, with the prior agreement, what had happened was the Dr. Payne was employed by Family First, so Family First was a part of it. And so what we did was we said that we would loan the money, Family First would pay back the county out of the receipts billed by Dr. Payne. So if that's what we're gonna do, if Dr., and I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. Patrick, if he's gonna be an employee of the hospital, then
Yes.
we'd probably do the same. That would be a difference. We wouldn't have a private clinic.
Correct.
Correct.
Right.
That is correct.
Commissioner Davis, you have a question?
I was just,
You go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, is it appropriate to have the attorney draw up an agreement on what we need to do and come back and approve it then, or do we need to do it tonight?
I think you're gonna have to be looking at an agreement. I would have to draw you up an agreement.
Hmm.
You would have
Yeah,
to do that.
absolutely.
So I think today, I think all you can do is tell me to, instruct me to go ahead and draw up the agreement and bring it back if you want to proceed. It's certainly, as it says in the past agreement, it's certainly a allowable expenditure of county funds. If y'all would like to do that, but that's a policy decision. You're not required to do that. So you just need to make that policy decision if you want to proceed and have it draft up the agreement.
Commissioner Martin?
Yeah, and I don't wanna sound negative, because I wanna help and do whatever we can. But back when we was doing budget, I think Tammy came before us and asked for some money. And at that time, I think we had instructed the clerk to send them a letter and find out about some prior money that hadn't been paid back, and we never did get that letter. So I would like to get that, just to kind of clear things up and know where we're at, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, in budget time, we talked about, Billy sending a letter. I never did hear nothing. So did you ever send a Billy?
No, sir, but I could get you one and have it for you for the next meeting, that way you know that.
Yeah.
Like you said, just showing that they owe us and we know how much it is.
Yeah.
We know that, yes, sir.
All right. What are the wishes of the board?
I guess the other question is always, if we enter this agreement, where would we be acquiring the funds to guarantee the salary for a year? And it would be, apparently, I would like to see, of course, where that source comes from, and it goes, any reimbursements goes back to that.
So that you have money available in your general fund reserve that could cover this very easily. That would be my recommendation of where to take it from.
And I would also like to ensure that if we take it from there, that any money that comes back in, I guess that's an accounting or.
That's where we go, we go back.
We go back to that fund.
On the prior agreement, it came out of fiscal constrained reserves. I mean, we could do that too, it'd just be a matter of me looking to see where it would be most advantageous and what you guys would.
You said you're recommending our reserves that we have?
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner.
I'm very much one that wants to help the hospital, and we need to promote it. And this is a step in the right direction. We've got a nice facility, and if we have a surgeon, it's just an increase. I would be in favor of doing this.
Are you making that form of motion?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
All right.
Oh, well, whoa, we'd have to have a
Motion to let him draft.
A motion to let him
draft, that's what we're asking for.
to prepare the draft.
Right. Motion to prepare the draft.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to prepare the draft for consideration for our following next meeting.
And for discussion, I mean, I support it as well, but I just wanted to make sure when we lay out the ground rules, where we're gonna get it from and where we're gonna put it
Sure.
back from.
Mr. Chair, I have one comment I'd like to make also, and, in order to be pro-business, we need to have good health facilities here in the county. And we're saying we're pro-business, so I'm sure the hospital is gonna do a little bit of marketing, more marketing once, the surgeon is on board.
Dr. Patter is on board, and we are marketing. He actually, was at the Rotary Club meeting today and presented in front of 24 people. Heard he did an outstanding job. I wasn't there. I'm sure he was. Thank you, Brett. And, we are going to be saturating our community and surrounding,
Yes.
areas to make sure that we get the referral source we needed to support the new business line.
Okay, I'm sorry, I haven't met him, is he here?
He's not in the audience,
Okay.
no, he is not, but he's definitely here in our community, very engaged, and he will certainly be meeting him.
Good,
Yes.
okay.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner.
Tammy, what is your time frame? When are you planning on having the operating room actual ready, equipment wise?
If everything works out the way we want it to, as far as, the vendors, meeting deadlines for getting the equipment in the door and the bioengineering, technicians coming on board and certifying the equipment, et cetera, and insurance credentialing going as it should, we're hoping that we will open the door in January.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
but I can, he's already there working daily and seeing, already scheduling or seeing.
He's on board, he's not seeing patients at this time. We are doing just mass marketing campaigning at this time, and he's working on helping our team with the infrastructure for the operating room program. He wanted to join us in December or January, and he was all excited and said that's when he was gonna be available, would be December, January, and his contract with the hospital he was working for in North Carolina came on the table, and he had already spoken with the administration team and the chief of surgery and said that he was at the point in his life where he just no longer wanted to be on call for emergency surgeries. And they said, well, I think we can accommodate that. We'll put you in the operating room and we'll give you the love that you like as wound care. So he was going to provide services in their wound care clinics. Well, he did not know that one of the wound care clinics they wanted to place him in was a 100-mile drive one way, one time a week. And that was kind of a game changer for him. So he then, within 10 days, he called me and said it'll be December, January. The second call was, I can come as early as August. And I said, well, we're not ready, and we likely wouldn't be ready until December, January, but I didn't want to take the risk of losing him. So we decided we would make the contract effective October 1st.
I just want to echo what other commissioners have already said. I have the privilege of sitting ex officio on the board of the hospital for the county commission, and I have served on the hospital board twice in my lifetime, appointed by the governor. This hospital is doing very well right now, and good as it can be expected, and I think this move will be nothing but positive, because I think with having a surgeon on board, we will see revenues increase exponentially, and that can only be good, and it will help our economic development down the road for future businesses that we're desperately going to get. So I commend you. Having heard that, we have a motion and a second to instruct our attorney to draw up the contract. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Pass 5-0. All right.
Thank you for your leadership to our county. I appreciate you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Hill. We thank you do everything you do for the hospital.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna move, down to, actually back up to number 1 on new business, the, public hearing for the ordinance concerning revisions, land use, I think, Ms. Demps, you back, yeah, I see you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
In the packets, I included attachments A and B. sections of the land development code that we're gonna have changes to the advertising dates. The purpose is to make all the advertising dates one day, one time period instead of 15 days here, 10 days there. So that's what the changes are. And also to include that we could use one publication in the paper for both public hearings for the planning and zoning and the board of county commission. So the ordinance that was included in the packet include those land development sections that were revised, and to incorporate that we use one public advertising for both hearings.
Yes.
And was this advertised, is this a public hearing?
Yes, sir.
It is public hearing.
And so, Mr. Chairman, you should open it up to the public.
Public, okay. Do I have any public comments for this hearing? Hearing none, I will bring back to the board. Any comments from the board?
If a motion is in order, Mr. Chair, I move that we approve it.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the land use changes. Further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Pass 5-0.
Mr. Chair, I have one question.
Yes.
I read where we needed to appoint someone at large, is that my understanding?
With the last time I came before, we changed the quorum
Right.
of our planning and zoning board and the members, and we're at 8. Our ordinance says we have, it's a 9-member board, so we need one more
We need one
at
more.
large position.
Do we have number 4, we're gonna do that, but that's fine. Go right ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask, do you have a volunteer list?
I don't, I was reaching out to you to find somebody.
All right. So I guess we need to canvass our districts and maybe find somebody that's willing to serve.
Yes, sir, and, what they'll need to do is submit a letter of interest, they can email it to me or mail it to me, we'll put it on file, and I'll bring it back for you to actually appoint.
Okay, now it's not just me, it's not.
Anybody.
Anybody, yeah. Okay.
I've been canvassed.
Anybody else have any?
Nobody here wants to?
No volunteer.
Yeah, we're open for volunteers. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dempsey.
Man, I almost bumped my hand.
Yeah, well, no.
Well, I got excited. I thought I'd see church. I felt like, God, you little guy. Don't run.
Thank you. I think we got it. All right, we will, we're gonna go back up to, Public Works. Lonnie, I wanna ask you to come forward on the maintenance map for Duval Pond Road.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We did obtain a maintenance map for Duval Pond Road. It is slated for paving, I think it's in year 21 with the DOT funds. I do have that map with me.
And Mr. Pickett, you reviewed the map, and it accurately shows the area that has been maintained by the county in excess of 7 years.
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Chairman, it would be in order if the board wishes, they can, by motion, second, affirmative vote, approve the maintenance map. The point of the maintenance map is under section 95.361, once the county's maintained a road in excess of 7 years, everything that's been maintained vests with the county. The maintenance map is a way of showing that of record and creating a presumption of that vesting and showing that the county has agreed to that. And that's why we do those, especially before you're going to pave a road, because you want to establish as well as you can the existing amount of property the county owns, and then see if you need to purchase any more property or whatever you need to do.
That's right. Okay.
Motion to approve the maintenance map for Duval Pond Road, Mr. Chair.
Second. I have a motion and a second to approve the maintenance map for Duval Pond Road. All those in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Pass 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Stapleton.
Just a question.
Yes, sure.
You said, slated for is that for their fiscal year 21, or is that
Yes, sir, that'd be 2021.
2020?
We should get a contract next year.
Okay, that's, I've
That
had a few,
would-
I've had a
that
few people
would-
ask me about that, I just want to clarify it for them.
Their fiscal year begins July first, right?
Correct.
Right. Okay. We'll move on, I think, do you have anything else, Mr. Secretary?
No, sir. Unless you have questions for me?
I've got a question, Mr. Chair.
Sure.
Lonnie, did you get a chance to look at the pine tree on Christmas Tree Lane and
Yes, sir, I
360?
saw one right there off of 360, had a ribbon around it.
Right, and I'm not sure if it's in the city limits of the county.
I'm pretty sure that whole road's in the county.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Ms. Lonnie, while I got you, did you ever look at the tree I asked you about? Pickle Lane?
I believe they may have taken care of that, but you do go out and look at it. I won't
Okay.
swear the crew took it down, but
It was still there.
we'll take
Still
care of
there,
it.
something.
We'll take care of it.
It was on county?
Yes, sir, I think so.
Okay, that's.
It's on our side of the stop sign, so.
Right, well, that's what I assumed was inside the stop sign, so.
Yes, sir.
But I wasn't sure. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna call on Mr. Blair to come forward for the review and possible approval of solid waste trade payment agreement for a 30 cubic yard open top container.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I just realized at the last moment on that, after I failed to make y'all copy, but I think you got packets of the agreement.
Yes, we got it.
This is much the same as what the 20 cubic yard was, it's just simply 30 cubic yard container now, increased to 8 tons capacity on that one, which would be a $569 prepayment on that one, with the rental stuff on that one, and if it needs to be emptied a second time, it'd be $529 question. So always the same as it was we done with the 20 here just a few months ago.
All right.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chair.
All right, motion to approve, a second to approve the 30 cubic yard of the dock container. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Thank you, Mr. Blair. That's 5-0.
If I can, Clay, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
A week or so ago, I had some, questions from some folks about some overgrowth and some trash and debris on Third Street. I got a text today that they were out cleaning it up, and I just want to say whether it was Lonnie's crew or your crew.
It come from Lonnie's and we coordinated.
Right, I think between the both of you, I appreciate y'all doing that. Thank you so much.
Mr. Chair, before Clay sits down, I want to thank you guys. I was coming to town last week and somebody had lost a couple of bags of garbage on the road. It had busted and it was probably 175, 100 yards up both sides of the road. And I called Mr. Blair and he was able to have a crew and an inmate crew out, and within just a matter of an hour or so, hour and a half, they had it cleaned up and they done a real good job, and we appreciate it.
We appreciate it also. We would kind of like EMS does when the Toms goes off.
Appreciate
We
that.
appreciate everything you do.
Yeah.
And thank you very much. All right, we're gonna move back to new business under, number 5, discussion, for additional holidays off for Christmas, 23rd for employee appreciation. I think this is in your packet. I know, I think the discussion was that rather than do a dinner, we were gonna give additional days. Mr. Kaufman, you wanna address that?
Yes, sir. Normally this time of year, right before Thanksgiving, we pull a luncheon together for a lot of employees. But this year, as we got to looking at the calendar, the way the holidays fell is that everybody would be off Tuesday and Wednesday, and that would leave Monday. And so we figured most people would be taking off Monday anyway, and there would not be a lot of work done. There'd probably be a lot of the public wouldn't be coming in looking for things that Monday either. So we thought about, what can we do to show our employees appreciation, and while lunch is nice, I think the day off is something that they would even be more interested in. And in particular, we've had a good year, a lot of changes, a lot of things people have accepted, and we're have broke some new ground. So I would really like to recognize the employees, any way we can. You know, some of them had some people talk mean to them this year. And we had that, and he did a good job there with, the television station, and that went out, far and wide, actually statewide. Chris Doolin with the small counties picked that up and sent it out. And so, I think a lot of counties are looking at what they can do to, for their employees to improve safety and recognition. And so this kind of goes along with that. There is some challenges with that on that day, because some of our departments have to work. EMS in particular has to work that day, as they do every day. So holidays are difficult for them. Also, our solid waste department is another one of those. It's hard for them just to take off, and especially around Christmas, because, not only because people are trying to bring in their Christmas wrappings and getting things like that, but also because, garbage has to move at the interstate. We take care of all the commercial accounts down on the interstate, and so as people are traveling and stopping down there, there's a lot more garbage, and that garbage has to move. And several of our solid waste guys are kind of unsung heroes that most people do not know that happens. They come in while everybody else is off, and they make sure that garbage is moving. They also have to take into account that certain days that the landfill's closed. So they gotta have those trucks empty. When the landfill's open, they get those trucks empty, and so those days that the landfills are closed, they have to be able to handle that garbage within the truck. It stores it for a day or two. So there's a lot that goes on that people don't know about. So one way to get around that issue is to help keep some of those sites open, is that we give the employees the option to whether they can take it off as a personal day later on, or we just pay them a little extra money and let them work. We pay them for that day's worth of work, basically, and they work. I think in talking to some of the department heads, those that would be working would probably just rather have that little bit of extra bonus pay, instead of taking the day off. But that's what we wanted to bring before the board and get y'all's opinion. We can certainly do a luncheon if you would like to, but with the way the holiday fell this year, we thought we might try something different.
Well, I don't wanna just say myself, but I think, I was talking with, Mr. Coffin and Mr. Pickle, and looking at the holiday schedule, it looked like something that would be appreciated more by the employees over the long haul. And I am glad that you worked out a way to take care of the garbage at the interstate as well as our collection sites, because I know, we get a lot of calls about collection sites being closed sometimes, and especially at Christmas time when you've got extra wrapping paper and extra boxes and all that kind of stuff. So, we got a plan for that. Any further discussion from the group?
I guess what's the feedback of the employees been so far? Positive?
I'll kind of let the department heads speak up a little bit if they want to weigh in, but I think from what I've heard, it's very positive. Even the lunches are kind of hard to pull off sometimes because, again, the solid waste collection site, people are coming on and going off at that same time, and so it's hard to get them, they can't come to eat lunch with us, so it's always very difficult. But I think from what I've heard, the employees would favor this versus the lunch.
Yeah, Mr. Lonnie or Mr. Blair, you wanna comment on that, or anybody else?
I believe that Mr. Kaufman hit ours on the head pretty good. Most of our people wouldn't mind having that extra gas money for the holidays or for buying Christmas and stuff.
Okay.
And if you flip-flop them around too terribly much on that one, to give them the holidays, they miss a day's pay. So, all in all, from the ones I've talked to, they prefer to just actually be paid and appreciate that.
All right.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Lonnie.
I was just gonna say, I think our employees would rather have the day off.
I second that.
I knew you were going to do that. I know you were being quiet back there.
She's moving to the road crew.
Mr. Chair, for Clay and his bunch, the landfill will be open Monday.
Correct. They'll be open on Monday, which that'll give us our opportunity on that one to be sure the trucks is empty, and when they're closed on Tuesday, we'll have a certain part of our full-time people will be out with the knuckle booms mashing containers to make more room so that we'll be ahead of the game come Thursday.
Right.
Or Friday, that's it.
Friday,
Yeah.
On that one, so it's, like I say, some of them want to, some of them don't, but it's still, it's the holiday is there, we're prepared to work it.
yeah.
Good.
All right, think I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to, accept the, manager's request.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to recommend, the, 23rd off and, the change for the employees to have those days off during Christmas holidays. All those in favor? Aye. By the same sign, opposed? Pass 5-0. All right, moving down to number 6, approval of holiday schedule calendar for 2020. That's in your packet. Take a look at that.
I move we approve it, Mr. Chair.
I have a motion, second to approve the holiday schedule.
Mr. Chair, if I can say
Yes,
one thing.
sure.
I just wanna let you guys know, I'm the one that does the holiday schedule. These are the days that the court system takes off, and I'm having correspond because, I don't know if you know, but for me to close the courthouse, I have to jump through multiple hoops. So it's just easier for me to be able to have my employees off at the same time the county employees are by having us all at the same holiday schedule. So if there's something y'all wanted to do different, all means, you know, you can. That's where that originates from, is from me. So.
I have a motion and a second to approve that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Same sign, opposed? Pass. All right, number 7, approval of the board, meeting schedule for 2020.
All right, I got one thing on that.
You got, I see you got something on there.
Yes, I do. On this one, I'm also the one that types up this form. If you go down to the November meeting, November 12th is a Thursday. Because if you go back to your holiday schedule, you'll see that November the 11th, which is Veterans Day, is a Wednesday. So, on your schedule, I moved that meeting to the 12th. If you guys wanna move it to something else, that's fine. But also, for the past few years I've been here, I guess, we have not had a regular meeting, the second meeting in November or December, because of the proximity to Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I didn't include those. If you guys wanna include a meeting there, or right now, or later, or whatever, I take no pride in authorship of the meeting dates.
I think in the past, we've always just said, well, if we needed a meeting, we'd have a special call
That's right.
meeting and have
Right.
time period.
We have, I know, in the 3 years I've been here, we generally cancel those meetings in November and December, and with the caveat that should we need a special, we would call it. So, all right, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept this.
Commissioner Waller makes a motion for accepting the calendar. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Discussion.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, at one time, we had talked about, because of, court days, about maybe rearranging our schedule.
We did.
Did.
I didn't take that into account, no, so I didn't change those days. I mean, if y'all wanna do that, I can do that and present you another one at the next meeting. It would, currently you meet on the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And we have felony court on those days. The day that it conflicts is the morning meeting, because, you know how hard it is to park around the
Right.
courthouse anywhere, unfortunately, on felony court day.
So the
Well,
morning
if
is
we
enough.
do the first meeting at 6 PM and the 4th meeting at 9 AM.
It wouldn't
We
conflict.
still we have felony court on those 2
Oh,
Wednesdays.
okay.
So it would have to change to other Wednesdays, first and third Wednesdays, or a different day of the week.
We don't want
It would be a
to.
lot easier for me to convince you guys to change than it would be for me to convince the court to change.
Yeah. Having worked in the court system 30 years, I don't even want to go there.
Okay. I just thought I'd ask.
I mean, if you'd like, I can bring another one back for the next meeting. It's completely up to you. It doesn't, like I said, no problem, obviously.
Well, we have to consider the attorney also, because he has other board meetings that he has to attend, so we might need to just go with it like it is.
Do we want to table it, and you and Mr. Reeves talk about it?
If that's what you would like me to do, I will certainly do it, Mr. Chair.
We looked at it before, but I think there was a conflict on the 1st and the third Wednesday.
Right.
That's how we got to the second, fourth.
Yeah.
And so if we're at the second
We'd
and
have to
fourth.
move away from Wednesday.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're talking about having a different day than Wednesday, you know, I think that's where we're gonna wind up if we do that.
I mean, it's fine with me. Where it becomes hard is whenever you have something in a morning meeting that is, the public wants to come to, and there's not a lot of parking. That's really, I mean, we can always buy some buildings and put some parking lots downtown too, Mr. Chair.
I didn't hear that.
We'll leave it like we is, Mr. Chair.
We want to say, we want to go south.
Just leave it this.
Got a motion and
Got a
second.
Got a motion second, all right. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. So, all right, we'll go with calendar. All right. We've been jumping around.
No, we got
I
it.
just want to make sure we had it there, all right. Yeah,
I was only on the.
Sorry about that. Okay. Mr. Cole.
On Wednesday, we met and had a special meeting to talk about the blue building, and we've got the contract that's advertising right now in the paper. And after that meeting, I spoke with the city manager, and he suggested that if we wanted to keep moving, or move the project, is that they needed to go ahead and look at starting their zoning process changes. And so I asked him, should we wait till we close on the building, or should we go ahead and move forward now? And he says, well, I would suggest, because there's several, as you know, there's several meetings that have to take place, and he says, you could go ahead and start now, and if they close, then they can just pick up in that process. So before I had Commissioner Kelly sign the paper, I wanted to make sure the board was okay with us going ahead and applying for that zoning change.
I would suggest, Mr. Chair, that you go ahead and apply for the change, because they've got to advertise, right?
Right.
That would be my suggestion.
Mr. Chairman, if I could,
Yes.
what may happen through this process is that, when they get into the zoning, they may have to change applications and all that kind of stuff. What I would suggest, if y'all want to proceed that way, is just go ahead and authorize the county coordinator to sign on behalf of the county, any reasonable applications or revisions, all that. And I'm assuming now that the fees and all that are being paid by, Twin Oaks, right?
They will, and then they asked if we could go ahead and, because it's coming from us, and they would reimburse us that at $1,200. Twin Oaks would. And
The city doesn't care where the check comes from.
well, I don't know, Jerome just suggested it come from the county, since we were applying, so.
Well, yeah, it is permissible for you to do it either way.
Okay, well,
But if you're gonna authorize us to pay fees and all of that, you need to make that in the motion.
okay, then I'll entertain a motion. Or move ahead and have some, you didn't have to require my signature.
I think you can do it either way. The easiest thing to do would be just authorize the county
Well,
clerk to
I'll
sign.
let him do that, to be honest.
Motion, Mr. Chair.
All right, I have a motion to, authorize, go ahead and, get the paper signed for the, application for the zoning, so do I have a second?
And also pay the fee.
And pay the fees, excuse me, thank you.
And actually, I'd say advance the fee.
Advance the fees.
To be
Right,
repaid.
be reimbursed.
To be reimbursed, yeah, so we'll advance the fees to be reimbursed. All right, I have a motion, do I have a motion? Yes,
Second.
all right, I have a motion, second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Same sign, opposed, all right. Okay, county attorney report.
I seen Crawford stood up
Oh,
a few minutes ago.
Crawford, did you?
No, sir, I thought you were gonna call on me about the rezoning, but you didn't, so.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
I know, we asked you to come tonight.
That's okay, thank you.
Send me your mileage bill. Mr. Attorney,
Nothing to report unless you have questions.
anybody got any questions? Our attorney.
Yes, I noticed on the minutes of the special call meeting, Now, I guess we're scheduling for the closing on the blue building for, the 28th, October 28th. And that's at 6 p.m.
The board meeting, where the board will consider the public hearing, where the public can come comment, the board will consider the contract, that is on the 28th. And I believe 6 p.m., and that's already been advertised, and has to be right then. And once the contract is approved, then they have to bring back a development plan, and this board's got to approve that. That says, this is what we're going to do, and how, and it's going to have to provide assurances that they have the money to do it, all of that sort of thing. Now, the question came up, because they're wanting to move very quickly, the question came up, well, could they do all that at the same time? And of course, the answer is yes, they can certainly do that. So they may, so the October 28th meeting will definitely be when you're going to consider the contract. Assuming they get all of these other things done, then you might also be considering the development plan at that time. Or you might, consider that earlier that day or the next day, or, whenever they get everything done. And is that fair, Mr. Kaufman?
Yes, sir.
What everybody's trying to do. So they're trying, and what I have told their attorneys is, we're happy to move as quickly or as slowly as they need to for their purposes. But they're the ones that have to get the survey done, and they've got to get a plan put together, and, all that sort of stuff. And I believe they're already out there doing the survey.
They're working on the survey, right?
Yeah. So we may well get it done that quickly, but that's what's gonna be kind of flexible.
Okay.
That answer your question, too?
Yes.
All right, any other comments from Mr. Reeves? All right, county coordinator report, Mr. Kaufman?
Yes, sir. I'd like to call Lee Bassford up to the podium. I'd like to introduce Lee as our new director of emergency management from Madison County.
I'm excited to serve the county in this new capacity. I do want to thank each of you. You have voiced your support for me over the last month or so, and I do appreciate it. I appreciate the board always being supportive of emergency management, because I know from experience that a lot of counties don't have that. So I'm very thankful for that, and just looking forward to helping our program grow and improve and serving the county.
We appreciate you getting the deck running this week.
Good job, Lee.
Thank you.
Yeah, we know you're gonna do a fine job. We kinda had a busy week already.
We did.
Yeah. You wanna go up and Mr. Patrick gets a picture right over there?
Sure. We technically already had the picture. They got a visit with me yesterday, so.
All right.
Yeah,
Ms. Coleman.
she carried us through Hurricane Dorian recently, and a couple of the other events, and so I think she will do an excellent job for us.
Yeah, certainly.
Also, I was going to mention to you that the task force, and Rick might speak a little more to this, that the Swanee River, Withlacoochee River Task Force met right after our meeting a couple weeks ago, and so he can give you a little more information on that. But I did want to thank the chamber for helping. They did some decorating, promoting Madison County, and they also helped with the refreshments, and I really appreciate the work that Phyllis and her team did on that. Also, we had WTXL interviewed the chairman, and he did a good job on that. Like I said, that had gone statewide. Chris Doolin with Small Counties had put that out, advertising that the issues, and everybody's familiar with the issues of violence that we're faced with, and so I think that was well received statewide, and I hope our employees, more importantly, understand our commitment to them. Let's see. Solid Waste has made some real improvements out at the old blue building. The old EMS area is almost completely gone. All those partition walls that were built out there, and that's part of our commitment with the Twin Oaks is to clear that building out. We worked over the last couple weeks with trying to get it surveyed, trying to get utility lines marked, because that has to be in this particular survey. It's just not a meets and bounds survey, so we've been working on that. The fire chief position is being advertised right now. I appreciate Bruce stepping in. Is Bruce still here?
He is.
I gotta take my glasses down, I can't see with glasses on. Yep, I appreciate all your help, Bruce, they've been busy. I listen to the fire channel in my office, throughout the day, and they have been extremely busy. This is October, and so this is our fire prevention month. Firefighters and EMS crews did go out, to some of the schools. Greenville, I know in particular, we were out at, for fire prevention. Miss Renetta Parrish got back with me, and she provided the names of the trustees of the Damascus Church this week. And so I have forwarded those to our attorney to draft the final contract and deeds. We needed those names. And so then, once I get that, I will send it back to her, and then get ready to meet with them, to pick up the check. In that, I think what we would probably use that money for, the $12,000 is, I think y'all received a copy of the, estimate for the fence at the jail. It was about $16,000. So we would probably try to use those funds to pay for those modifications at the jail. Let's see here, we've got our special meeting coming up, next Monday night to consider that, contract for the blue building at 6 p.m. Also, Commissioner Kelly and I just got back today from, the task force meeting, for the turnpike. This was the second task force meeting, and they focused mainly on wetlands, the impacts to wetlands, and of course, number one is you try to avoid the wetlands, and they have an acronym that they use for that, but it's basically avoidance and minimization, and then when you can't do that, you mitigate for the loss of the wetlands. And so they spent quite a bit of time on that. But it was a good meeting, DOT has done an excellent job at organizing those meetings and having them well executed. My hat's off to them of pulling that many people together. It's about 50 people on that task force, and be able to pull all that together and have it organized. It's actually being videoed by the Florida channel. That's moving forward. I believe Commissioner Kelly has been talking to some businesses. I think we spoke to you a little bit the last time about the task force, in that Anath Prasad, who used to be a secretary of DOT, he now represents the, I think is it the Florida?
He represents the Florida Asphalt Builders Association.
Yes.
Asphalt Road Builders Association, excuse me.
And there's kind of a coalition of the Florida Chamber, the Asphalt Builders, the Trucking Association has formed a coalition to try to start putting some positive information out about what the toll roads can do for the communities. And Commissioner Kelly has talked to several businesses here in our community, because they're looking for people to be able to show the positive aspects of what this can do to the community, for the community. And so he's lined up some people to do some op-ed pieces, I guess, in conjunction with this group, to tell the positive aspects. And also, I think we might, Commissioner Davis, you always, at the regional planning councils, they always have this negative coalition of people that are there. And what we might want to do is look at getting some of our people who are positive. We had our MCDC meeting a couple weeks ago, and everybody there who was on our MCDC were very positive, and especially the people in Greenville were there and were very positive about this possibility of this toll road coming. And I think we ought to engage them and ask them to come to some of those meetings that we're attending, so people actually get to hear the other side of it. Commissioner, you had asked about signs on the vehicles, and I think we placed the order for those, so I think we got everything taken care of. Any questions for me that I missed?
Not a question, but a comment. I received an email, and don't recall where it came from, but it talked about the toll road. And, of course, we all know that Jefferson County opposes the toll road. And in this email, it stated that if you oppose the toll road, you'll fill out this survey. And I fill it out on behalf of, myself, opposing it for Jefferson County. So hopefully it'll come back.
We did, but I was not that clever.
That's smart thinking, Barry. Gotta give you an A for that.
Appreciate it.
Okay. All right, anything else, Mr. Coleman?
No, sir.
All right. Anybody got any questions, Mr. Coleman? All right, Commissioner Moore.
Just one item, there's a fundraiser for Jeremy Denmark. He's one of our firefighters, lost his house, everything in it. I think it's gonna be Friday over in Greenville. So if y'all wanna come to Greenville for lunch, just stop by the fire station.
I think we're in the fall. I think we're
Yeah.
going, yeah.
It's gonna be here.
Yeah, the park in Madison, the park up here in Madison.
Oh, in Madison?
Yeah,
Yes,
Fort
sir.
Freedom's
Okay.
Park, yes, yes.
My mistake.
That was
From
a-
11 to 1,
Okay.
All right.
or until they sell
I
out.
think the, price is $8, is that correct?
Yes, the plates will be $8. We do have pulled pork, and we will have chicken. It'll be the thigh, the leg, the leg quarter, and there'll be potato salad, baked beans, dessert, drink, everything, so.
Okay, thank you.
And we can deliver if you need.
Question if I may, are they still taking items for like their personal needs?
We have given them, it's been about a week since we've taken them anything. I can check, but I think they're still receiving.
I would
personal
imagine he
items.
would. He's got
Yeah.
5 children. And so, it's hard to they lost everything.
Yeah.
So it's hard to replace. We did go down to the Methodist thrift store, and they gave him a bed that they had and three dressers, and also gave him a check, which they do help out people that get burned out just like he did. So we appreciate that. But I think they would take, there's still needs there.
Yes. Well, that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Moore? I have that, sir. All right. Mr. Clerk?
Nothing from,
All right.
sir.
Commissioner Davis?
Just what, manager mentioned, on the 9th at 6 o'clock, we had a meeting with the task force. It was pretty well attended, and they gave another update for our community on where they're at, what's been going on. They've already met all of their obligations for Georgia's EDP, and that permit, unfortunately, is still on their desk in Atlanta. But they're optimistic that they've met all of the requirements that EDP has asked for. And so the final permitting process is just a matter of getting it authorized, and then they're ready to turn dirt and get this additional holding facility at the plant constructed, 8 to 10 million gallons, I think. And they went over again all of the things that they've done so far for restructuring and repairing some of their internal stormwater and sewer drains to do away or eliminate the stormwater infiltration that they're getting. Rick, if you would remind me, so they're still on around a 25–30% completion on that part of it, I think, what they've told us.
Yeah, I think it's all right.
And that equates to millions of gallons, of course, of stormwater infiltration. So they've done a lot of work. I will tell you that they have an opportunity again. Is it November? You live up. So is it displossed?
It's actually early voting's right now, so it's within, It's probably on a special election ballot, so I think it's in a couple of weeks.
So probably they're may, vote themselves in another additional tax.
Well, it's a continuation.
Oh, it's a
Of
continuation
the-
of what they've already.
what they've already got, yeah.
Of what they- yeah, and, they've been pretty good about receptive to that so far, from what I'm hearing. If it doesn't go in, vote back in, then they will put a more burden on the city's ability to fund. Because as you know, they, in the past, have not had much of any, funding from the federal government, or state on those repairs, but, they've been very open and receptive to us, and, I feel like they're working as diligently as they can, and we've been blessed a little bit, if that's a proper word for some of the drier weather we've had right now. We've had those major rain events that create several inches at one time, so, we're just hoping that, they'll get that permit, get that storage area built pretty, quick, and, hopefully we'll see an end to some of the things we've been seeing. So, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, I do have one other thing. Our appropriations request need to be in by the 1st of November if we want to request any funding from the legislators, different projects.
Yeah, I forwarded that in,
Well,
we all get today.
I think that's, and we've already turned the, request in for the Ag Center, that's already gone in, so.
But you have to have the official paperwork.
Right.
And we've got that underway.
Okay, all right, our report from the, Assistant County Coordinator.
Motion to adjourn.
This week's very good.